Before we move on to the paper, we must acknowledge all our fans. We have some outside. We know you are watching us outside the studio. We're still going to come and say hello to you in a moment, but thank you so much, guys. You left your homes to come here today. Thank you to celebrate. Thank you for celebrating with us. Okay, let's quickly go on to what's happening in the papers. The Nation, workers to receive cost of living petrol allowance. Abdusalami Akonde Yakasai says, Tinubu on track. Sanwo-Olu retire, others pay tributes to Abibatu Mogaji. Naira closes at 702 to the dollar at IE window. Ribadu Edu Uwajumogu Alake among 8 presidential advisors. Obi LP tender over 18,000 blood results sheets. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Major headline.
Yeah.
The National Economic Council has set up a committee made of governors from each of the geopolitical zone to review suggestions from the Salary and Wages Commission to address the impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy on the populace. So it says it consider recommendations from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission to pay 702 billion as cost of living allowance to civil servants as part of intervention plans to mitigate the effects and the removal of the fuel subsidy as announced by the President May 29th. The governor of Bauchi, Bala Mohammed, also made this disclosure while briefing alongside his counterparts from Katsina, Ali Urada, Kogi, Yahaya Bello, Abia, Alex Oti, and Ogundabo Abiodun. He also revealed that the intervention includes a recommended sum ranging from 23.5 billion to 45 billion per month as petroleum allowance for civil servants. The president had also directed the governors to concretize various palliative structures to ease attendant hardship from the petrol subsidy discontinuance. So this is a welcome development. You know that the NLC had said they must be paid an additional wage aside from the minimum wage, though they had not broken down how this 702 billion will be shared across civil servants and how much they are expected to get. I think more details will come out on that.
Let me take the story about the appointments. So we have some eminent people that are now in special advisors to the president. We have Wale Edun, who is the communication expert, Dele Alake, a former eminent economics, Wale Edun, communication expert, Dele Alake, former anti-graft SAR, Nuhu Ribadu, and Mr. John Nwajumogu are among 8 advisors to the president. Mr. John Nwajumogu is handling industry, trade, and investment. Nuhu Ribadu is handling a special advisor on security. We have former commissioner of Finance in Lagos State, Wale Edun. He's now advising the president on monetary policies. And then we have Dele Alake on special duties, communication, and strategy. We also have 2 women in this appointment. Dr. Mrs. Salma Ibrahim Anas is special advisor on health, and Mrs. Elu Vehijen is special advisor on energy, and Mr. Zakios Adedeji is special advisor on revenue. So far, we've had 10 appointments.
8, I think.
No, okay. These 8 and the previous 2.
Yes.
You know, we have the SGF with George Akume, and then we have the Chief of Staff, which is former Speaker Femi Gbadabiamila, and we have 2 women out of the 10. I know that in the campaign promises, he said there will be more women and more youth. And we're just reminding the president that he should not forget that we only have 2 women now. We're hoping that more appointments will feature more women. However, a lot of people are receiving this with good news that in the past 2 weeks of being in government, a lot of good things.
Back to back. Every single day, you wake up to one policy,
even,
something.
Yes, the former public spokesperson to Goodluck Jonathan, Iman Iboru, said that this is very commendable on Channel TV yesterday. So,
in addition,
not just women that we want competent women.
Yeah.
Don't just put me there because I'm a woman. I have to be a competent woman.
I was lucky to be the MC at one of the town hall meetings, and I heard that Mrs. Olu speak on energy.
Yes,
she's well-rounded, and she had her entire life is on energy and power, and she's somebody. I think she's the right square peg.
I'm not saying that they are not competent. I'm just saying because Tokpa said we need more women.
Okay, yes.
So I'm just saying no,
qualified
not
women.
We need
qualified women
and
competent
men
people,
too.
both men and women.
Absolutely. So elder statesmen went to visit the president yesterday. We have the former head of state, General Abusalami Abubakar, and former interim national chairman of the APC, Chief PC Akonde, and the Second Republic Minister, Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, were all there to see the president, and they all agreed after the meeting with him and said that the president is on course. Also, our dear friend, former Central Bank Governor Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, was also there, and he was saying that the president actually, he also agreed that the president is on course, and it was quite a bold move to do those two things which he did, ensure that subsidy was removed, and the monetary policies that were recently provided. So those are two good decisions the president made, and that he was in support of the work, and they continue to give the support, saying that we almost rally around the president to show support for the work he's doing so far. Okay, any other story in the nation, YK? You have any story?
That was, I forgot to take a picture, but it's at the top in red, about this man that was kidnapped.
Kidnapped suspects kill farmer.
Yeah, you know, him and his son were going to the farm. The bandits, the terrorists stopped them. Then they asked them to walk, but the man was not feeling well. So he said, look, he can't walk. So they strangled him, took the son, and then later released the son for 400,000 naira ransom. Very, very sad story.
Okay, let me...
And this was in Akure.
Thanks for staying with us. We're now reviewing The Punch. APC bigwigs jostle for ministerial slots. Tinubu names 8 essays. Probe begins as OAU student dies of suspected suicide. EFCC summons Sirika, quizzes Nigeria air officials. Boat tragedy, FG vows prosecution of operators. Tinubu economic advisors propose customs, NIMASA, FIRS merger. Fuel subsidy, NEC malls, 702 billion naira as workers' allowance. Interesting, okay?
The story about the young girl, she was a level 1 student from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Apparently, they found her corpse with her bag beside her and a bottle of sniper in an uncompleted building. And they said, so the first, the guy who wanted to remain anonymous said they called them that, oh, she has committed suicide, and that she had tried to commit suicide like 5 times before. And so now they are saying, oh, she drank this sniper and she's died in this unfinished building. But another level 1 student, who is her friend, said it's not true that it's murder. That she believes that it is murder, so that they should investigate. So the police have said that they are investigating.
Okay. Right. So the Presidential Policy Advisory Council, they recommended the declaration of a state of emergency on revenue generation, and they're proposing, the council is proposing that they should merge the Federal Inland Revenue Service, that's FIRS, they should merge it with Nigerian Customs Service and Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency into the Nigerian Revenue Service in order to enable them to be efficient in the revenue collection, direct and indirect taxes, as well as levies on behalf of the federal government. So they're proposing how we can merge all these major agencies together so they can effectively monitor revenue coming into the country, because obviously that's a major task ahead. According to the Economic Subcommittee, the policy will grant the president special powers to drive the economic reform agenda and support the delivery of sustainable and inclusive economic growth. So that's a really bold economic move, and we'll see how that goes. It's still a proposition, but we don't know if it's going to happen yet. But these are interesting times for the economy, and we hope that the plans do fall through.
So a 40-year-old motorcyclist, Akpo Igwe, has been arrested by men of the Benue State Police Command for allegedly raping an 8-month-old pregnant lady at Irabi Council Ward in the Obi Local Government Area of the state. According to a source, it said the victim's family said she was returning from the market, and then she flagged down an Okada. While the Okada man was, taking her home, he diverted to a nearby bush and then raped her, thinking she was dead, pulled her to the riverside and abandoned her. She was so weak. In fact, she fainted. She was so weak. The next day, she was just praying for help While back at home, they were looking for her all over the place. Finally, they were able to find her, and they're asking police to investigate exactly what has happened.
Let me take the story about the investigation that the EFCC is carrying out concerning Nigerian Air. So they've invited the former Minister of Aviation, Adisirika, to come and answer some questions. But they also invited other people that are working in the aviation industry. Let me be specific. They said they've invited the acting managing director, Captain Akpo Igwe, has been invited for questioning. They also have invited, they mentioned they invited other people that work within the Nigerian aviation industry and all of those that were involved in the Nigerian Air project. Some have already come to the EFCC and they've answered questions, but based on the punch, Adisirika that former minister, hasn't showed up yet. This information was also confirmed by the spokesperson for EFCC, Wilson Owujaren, and he said that he can confirm they're investigating. Investigation is going on, but he cannot give any more information apart from that. A lot of stakeholders are concerned and dissatisfied, arguing that the national carrier shouldn't be relying on foreign airline and that the entire debacle needs to be investigated.
Daily Sun, new twist in INEC, Obi Atiku legal battle. Nnamdi Kanu sacks Ozekome Ojefo as counsel. Tinubu appoints Ribado Alake others as special advisors. Acting EFCC chair Chukwu takes over, Bawa faces multiple probes. Ijaw lawmakers protest alleged remapping of Akwa Ibom local governments. Anti-graft CSOs defy rain, celebrate Bawa's suspension. Tinubu mandates NEC to revive economy. Nasarawa Assembly crisis, IGP urges to call CP to order. Okay?
So Abdul Karim Chukwu yesterday assumed office as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in acting capacity following the suspension of Abdul Rashid Bawa by the federal government. They said until this new role, Chukwu was the director of operations of the commission, and he's a Benue State born anti-corruption Caesar, and also a pioneer staff of the commission. He said he's an experienced investigator with specialty in cybercrime and money laundering. So a statement was made available to newsmen by the spokesperson of the EFCC, Wilson Owujaren, and he noted that Chukwu held sway as head advanced fee fraud and cybercrime sections of the Lagos and Abuja zonal commands between 2011 and 2016. A pioneer commander, Uyo Zonal Command in 2017 and Commander Port Harcourt Zonal Command in 2020. He has also participated in several special operations with international law enforcement organizations and maintains close relationship with law enforcement agencies such as the FBI, UK National Crime Agency, United States Postal Inspection Service, and United States Secret Service, Australian Federal Police, Dutch Police, German Police, South African Police, and so many others. So this is just stating his CV to us, that he's capable of being in that office for this time. Yeah.
Okay, so according to Daily Sun, IPOB has sacked their Nnamdi Kanu's key lawyers, that's Michael Zekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor. According to a statement from his younger brother, Kanuntas, he said that the decision was jointly taken by the IPOB leader and his family because, according to them, there are two things Ozekome and Ejiofor did. He said, one, they stopped going to see Nnamdi Kanu at the DSS headquarters since May 31st, and also they refused to allow his doctor to examine him back on June 5th, and after being given notification June 2nd. And because of these two reasons, they had said they no longer require their services.
They refused to allow his own doctor to examine his own lawyers.
Yes.
Refused to allow his own doctor.
To allow Nnamdi Kanu's doctor to examine him, and they refused to go and see him since May 31st. So
May 31st is not that, it's just 16th now.
That's according to the report. Moving on to Vanguard. Tinubu to NEC, no excuse for failure. Tribunal, Tinubu kicks as court admits INEC's exhibit containing his biodata. Presidential poll, over 18,000 results. INEC uploaded blurred, says Obi's witnesses. FG appoints FBI Academy alumnus Chukwu as acting EFCC chairman. Subsidy, all marketers plan petrol imports as CBN floats Naira. Nollywood actor Don Brimo Uchegbu slums, dies on location in Port Harcourt. 7.9 billion naira fraud, court halts trial of ex-minister Udua. over threats to judge. EFCC CBN chiefs, Akpo has asked Tinubu to remove INEC chair. And Tuesday to federal government, watch out for forex speculators. Okay, which story are we taking in Vanguard?
A very sad one. Legendary actor Don Brima Uchebu. You may not know the name, but he is known for playing this king roles in the Nollywood movies. They said he died yesterday while he slumped while shooting a film in Ahhh, Port Harcourt, River State. He was 56 years old. And
56?
yes, according to the story, said while he was in the movie sets, he just slumped while acting, and then they immediately rushed him to the hospital, realized that he had a stroke. And then he didn't make it. They said he's been having BP issues, blood pressure. And I think people who do such intensive jobs should constantly check. We had a scare while we were shooting Mamejiro. One of the lead actors started bleeding in the nose. We had to pause production for 2 days to take him to the hospital to get proper care. It was a blood pressure issue as well. And I think people, she's just a sad story for him.
You know, that's why they say hypertension is the silent killer.
Yeah. And he was saying a few days back that they should celebrate him now that he's alive, not when he dies.
Oh my
people will
God.
start celebrating.
Let me quickly take the story. Power-drunk custom officials loot shop overnight. This is from shop owners. Traders are recounting their losses. They said that on early hours of Wednesday, armed custom officials came to the area, which is in Ajib Market, Agege, Lagos State, and they looted the shop. Said the armed custom officials also took the phone of their security men so that they couldn't be alerted about the thing going on or record what happened. And according to them, their shops were looted, that goods were taken away from their shop. And this market women brought their placard and said, Ashiwaju, our father, please save our soul. Nigeria government, please intervene on our cases. They said that they became debtors overnight. Some of the products that were looted were not, they are not contraband, and that the shops were, monies were taken, phones, gadgets were taken from their place. I think this, covert operations, because they can lie and say they took your goods, you should also, the custom officials should have a recording of this thing so that they can present in court to say that they didn't take anything that was not a contraband or that this was already planned.
Did they have a warrant to go and loot the shop?
They're trying to search for...
Hey, you need a warrant now. You can't just enter my house and say there are imported goods in my shop and just it's illegal.
Okay, that's all we can take on paper review. When we come back, our celebration begins.
Yes.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.